Well,
Well,
welcome everyone. How's my Planeswalkers tonight?
hella hyped
Sleepy.
after that lead-in.
We're just walking those planes, man.
I need
A
to
wide
go
gamut
back
of
and,
responses.
redub an explosion after the end of that noise that Emily just made.
Can we make the explosions on board too?
Yes. Yes, we can.
That would be amazing.
Boom.
I appreciate this plan.
So,
I'll get back.
Matt will not be joining us for a little bit. He's going to be a little late. We've stalled for time as long as we can. So let's get to it. Let's see here. Oh gods. Looking over the previous chat, we've become kind of a gobbledygook. You all fled to the wind. So, let's first address Jing's things, because they're the most recent. Okay.
Rhyme.
Yes. So, your research, right?
Research. Yes. Research.
Yes.
I'm okay. So I'm gonna name these things. This is the blood machine.
Yeah.
We've discussed the blood machine. It's a machine that pulls out blood in a long process. There's not much really more to it. We discussed the concept of minimizing it between sessions. That was deemed to probably be not the most effective use of that. Number two is a bottle of blood. It's just an empty bottle that was once filled. The vampire threw it when he heard the fighting start upside in an attempt to hide. The books. Number A is a series of Sun Wards. How to survive.
You cut out there, Josh.
The first book on the table is Wards Against the Sun. How to survive in the desert. A book of abjurations, which basically deal with a series of how not to have sunburns, get skin cancer, and or dehydration, etc.
All right.
Second book is a Chartist of biology, basically talking about what this plane knows of human biology and of other races' biology within the kingdoms. Everything dealing with the cardiovascular system has been bookmarked. Book the third is a primer on necromancy. It has nothing that a basic necromancer wouldn't have already. And finally, book the fourth is a series of notes dealing with force-based magic, specifically of a white variety and heavily involved in abjuration. And let's see, number 3.
Really fast question about the books.
Yes.
Did that include the book on necromancy that Akvis picked up?
You picked it up before Jing put down his little tags, so no.
Okay.
And researching the portal. It's a bog standard portal. Yeah. Aside from the interesting little aspect of that its gateway is housed in the hands of a statue, it's fairly standard. Large, takes a long time to make, a lot of energy to run.
Is the statue magical anyway, or is it just there for theme?
It's enchanted to open up its arms and spread its hands open, and it's got some magical conduits laced into it to channel power from a stone in the back of the head to power the portal. But other than that, no, it's not really anything but a statue. It is just theming. And I think that cleans up that, right?
All right.
So let's head outside with Akvis, her horde of zombies, and the captain of the guard, because I believe that part of the plan was to go get the captain of the guard.
Yes.
All right. Who went and got the captain? We're going to say it's Bulgarian because he's not here. I have made an executive decision.
Okay.
So Bulgarian arrives at the captain of the guard, who immediately looks at your horde of zombies, or ghouls mulling.
I have the good grace to look a little bit ashamed. Just a tiny bit. Fidus and I are standing off to one side, making it very clear that they're not mine. I just have them. Sort of.
You see his salt and peppery mustache, because he has like a full like mutton chop style mustache, start just twitching back and forth in agitated thought.
We seem to have discovered the fates of your missing guards. I presume you would prefer that they have a proper service befitting that of their own?
He takes a moment, looking over the abominations that these men. Is it safe to approach them?
Yes, they will not attack you.
He walks right up to one of them.
Before he moves, I make my psychic command to all of them not to attack him. To just stand in place and attack nothing. Rather. Now he may approach.
He walks right up to one of them, seizes it by the face, forces it to look at him, like right in the eye, comprehends that there is no intelligence in its eyes at all. And then just in a moment of... his mouth draws into a very, very low frown as he kind of like casts its face aside. Reaches down and removes basically some form of a brooch from the chainmail that it goes along and picks the same brooch off each of them. It's the same badges that he gave you as deputies. A little fancier, but the same sort.
Mm-hmm.
He approaches you and Malkarian at this point. So, explain. What exactly befell me?
We are not certain of the extent of the problem, but it would seem that enemies of mutual concern to both of us were using your men as pawns for power and to sow disrest amongst the people of the ward or quarter. And I point back over my shoulder with a claw towards the inn behind me, or the tavern behind me, because I'm assuming I'm standing outside in front of the doors, right?
Yes.
In the basement you will find the remnants of a camp, but I would be careful surprising the rest of our group that is still down there. They may not take kindly to the interruption of their works. The culprit is being investigated.
And who is this culprit?
That is a question for the scholar. And the player not having her notes.
Very well. How long can you maintain control of these people?
Josh? How long can I maintain control of these people?
So long as they don't succeed at a will save. So not indefinitely, no.
I would be wary to sustain control for any longer than absolutely necessary. But for now, I believe I can hold them in place.
He gives a low and very drawn sigh. He turns away from you and begins to walk back towards the corpse. Along the way, he draws his long, curved sword, and in neat, orderly, efficient moves, begins to lop the arms off each of the zombies and the lower jaw.
Do they bleed?
They bleed salt.
Is it black salt or white salt?
White salt.
Okay, carry
on. Effectively disarming, and you've all seen Walking Dead. You know what he...
I have not, but it's okay.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
pacifying the zombies.
Yeah, I figured.
Forcibly.
With that, he turns to the small entourage of 4 guards he brought with him. Restrain them. You and you, come with me inside. And so he heads inside. So, where's everyone else inside? Obviously, Jing's probably doing his studies on those things we mentioned at first. Where's Marcus, Tedrix, and Fizzle?
Making booms.
Is my pod.
I think we had it. You weren't there when the thing ended, so we didn't throw it on the map. We just assumed he stayed. Why is he so big?
Real talk, though.
That's what she asked.
There we go.
Thank you.
So what's Fizzle doing? Emily?
What did you just say?
What is Fizzle doing?
I said making booms, as per the plan.
Oh.
You know, explosives. Making the explosives to jam through the portal.
There's a few materials you might need to ask for, but you can get it most of the.
Making booms, doodly doodly doo.
For his part, since there's really nothing going on that interests him, Marcus is just in a corner sleeping.
Is he in wolf form or human form?
At this point, he's still in wolf form because, you know, there's no reason for him to be in human form.
And Tedrix?
I think he's kind of like over here, with his back up against the wall, slouched on the floor, kind of nursing that splitting headache.
I should have got a picture for the guard, Captain, but I didn't.
We all know he's just a regular guard with sour cream.
Just a regular guard with a slightly different color palette.
Pretty much.
He has a red sash. They all have white sashes.
And a shinier, bigger badge.
And a bigger.
And he has that move from every Final Fantasy that makes all the soldiers attack at the same time.
Oh man, roll 20. What you doing? Does anyone else see the guard captain standing there
No,
near the ladder?
Nope.
I'm scared now.
Did you put it on the map layer?
Okay, I'm gonna have to re-roll, reload roll 20. Oops.
Nice.
Did you break the universe again?
I just break the universe.
Oh, you.
Jimmy, no. No, bad.
What did you do, Jimmy?
Here, I'll send you the picture.
Please.
I mean, it's not like
What
it's
am I missing?
bad or anything. Hang on. Hang on. Yeah. Sorry, I had to remind myself what your Discord.
Yeah, what my new
Name
Discord
was-
tag is.
Yeah.
Please. I'll be right back.
So when the captain grabbed the zombie's face like that, for a second there, I actually thought he was gonna like yell at him to stop being a zombie.
No, no.
Right.
It is not a perfect facsimile, but
As close as makes no difference for now.
it's as close as I can get with generic tokens.
Mm-hmm.
So heavy boots come down the hallway of the tunnel, and the guard enters into the candlelit space beside the blood machine. He looks at Fizzle, baking a bomb. He looks at Tedrix, nursing his headache. He looks at Jing, fussing through books. Well, It is an abattoir upstairs and a cardinal pit below.
Yeah, didn't realize I was muted. But holy shit, Marcus actually sees the guard captain and hears him as he comes into the room.
Oh, it's
Good job,
about
Marcus.
damn time, Marcus. Akvis from outside. Look up, Marcus!
It has been a long time coming.
Hmm.
He looks at the body attached to the blood machine and nods to one of his other guards to take it. So, what's your three take on the events upstairs?
Vampires.
He gives you that look because there's no such thing as a vampire on his planet. Was it?
Vampires.
Blood-sucking undead.
It's like a zombie, but stupider. But also smarter.
And am I to take that the burned, tied figure upstairs is one of these vampires?
Servant.
There you go.
Jing finally looks up from his studies, sees the guard captain there. His eyes kind of widen, and he just very slowly puts his hood back up. No one will notice.
He notices.
Hello.
Yeah, it was just some guy who was working for the vampires. You can, do whatever you want with him or his body. I forget. Did we kill him? Is he dead?
Yes. Nenaro is dead. But you also found the vampire himself, badly burned, and I believe that you have secured him somewhere.
Probably that sounds like something we would have done.
No problem. This is going to be such a long investigation.
I mean, can't you just be like, hey, it's over, hooray?
Oh, it is quite over. You have done your jobs admirably. However,
Well, yeah.
the law is clear on these. Things need to be investigated, official statements made. But I believe you all have earned your rewards.
Yes.
Now, if you would care to entrust this scene to one of my, I believe I need to head up and talk with your fellow. Actually, weren't you the one with the wings? Aren't you the?
Yep.
So, where do we go?
I mean, you know, you got this, right? We got a vampire for you. I wouldn't take him out in the sun. You got a dead body of the helper guy, and you know, no more bad stuff. We're still cleaning up down here. You know, that might be a little while, but you're. Unless you have some specific questions you need answered.
Salt the earth.
Many of them, but I don't believe any of them have anything to do with this investigation.
Okay.
Sir Captain, what is the farthest kingdom from this one?
The furthest kingdom from this one, the northernmost kingdom from here is the High Sultanate of Abdul Jabbar.
You see, these vampires. I know that word doesn't make any sense to you, but that's what they are. They hail from beyond Ajul Savar. They are very organized, they are very vicious, they are very greedy. They have come here to take whatever they can get from your fine kingdom. It is more than just the work of one or two madmen.
And so what do you suppose we do?
You don't need to do anything. We're handling it. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I could still use some components here to finish what I'm doing.
Can Malgarian walk in at this point?
Yes, he may.
So the only statement that he hears out of this is Fizzle's there, and he's going to walk in. He's got the little turban pulled down. He's got like a little, Tony Stark goatee or whatever on underneath it, and it looks like he's like inspecting the palm of his leather glove. It's like, oh, is this where we're talking about the explosives? As he starts trying to pick something out of his palm.
Yes, the explosives.
You watch as the guard captain, which I have just named him Rashid. You watch as Rashid's mustache begins to twitch again in apprehensive thoughtfulness. All right, back up. Explosives.
Yeah, you don't want them to have access to your city anymore, right?
Of course.
Then explosives, yes.
So,
what are the explosives for?
Allow me to elaborate on our plan. The way that they, and at this point he kind of turns to everybody else in the group. First, I suppose, has he seen the basement yet? I've been upstairs.
You're in the basement.
We are in the basement. Disregard. I thought we were in the lobby. Damn, I misread those context clues. Cool. So he's going to point at the statue. So, this portal leads to their base of operations. Far away.
Far off kingdom.
Yes. And our plan ultimately is to prevent them from being able to open the portal. We could go through the probably more simple method of taking a large sledgehammer to this one until it breaks. And that would make the same effect. Unfortunately, there we have significant reason to believe that they're gunning for a number of other kingdoms, and so if you were so inclined to assist, we could, with either manpower or resources, we could craft enough explosives that upon activation of the portal, we simply roll them through, close the portal, and then let them detonate on the other side, taking as many of the enemy with them as we can.
So at this point,
In
his
other words,
mustache.
the fun plan.
With
he is-
no structural damage to your city, only damage to the creatures.
I was about to do this bit. Yes, he wanders. You watch as his mustache twitches angrily a little as he walks over to this box, sits down, removes his helmet, and goes, "No structural damage to this."
No structural damage.
We are underground in a mostly sealed cavern.
Yeah,
You can
there will-
assure
yes.
me.
There will not be any explosions on this side of the port.
I suppose one of the clarifying questions is, and I do not mean this in any patronizing context whatsoever. Are you aware of what a portal is?
I am aware of what a portal is.
How familiar are you with how they work?
They're like a tunnel. One end on this end, the other on the other.
And if we immediately close this one, when the explosions detonate on the other side, they will have no effect on this end of the tunnel.
It seems a fair plan. I just am concerned that if we botch this, we're going to bring this entire cavern and the tavern above it straight onto our head. Who is going to be the one to light the fuse and run, as it said?
Oh, that'll be me.
Okay.
Is that simply for the catharsis or for the efficacy?
It's because I know what I'm doing. Obviously.
He considers a moment. Shall do it your way, since you all seem to demonstrate particular expertise in this matter. And since you have been so highly effective up to this point, we'll do it your way. Now, but before we begin, while you're working, you will have your components. My men are going to take all valid evidence out of this case, just in case.
Oh, absolutely.
sure.
There's no reason for it to stay here.
Now, if you excuse me, I have 6 funerals to arrange in a very short amount of time.
My condolences, Captain.
It is the risk of guard, son. Though I do wish that we could have had a more mundane end for these men. And with that, he heads up. And activists?
Hi.
Yes, Matt?
Nope. Go ahead. Do your thing.
He's going to ask if you can make them basically force march with him to the town square.
Cut all of their legs off.
No, he cut their arms off.
Okay, I thought you said arms and legs. That's my bad.
No, I made the mistake of saying de-limbed, but he cut their arms and lower jaw.
Okay, yes. She will attempt to. ODM who rolls resist saves.
For the sake of it, I'm probably not going to roll resist saves, because
Okay, I'm just giving you
This
shit
is
because
the-
you mentioned it earlier.
this is supposed to be a sad scene. It would be lessened somewhat by watching me go and resist save and resist save.
Okay, carry on. Yes, I give a psychic command to the minions and take up behind them with my scythe in hand as a walking stick and Vidus draped over my shoulders.
And they march them to the town square. The captain calls on a series of runners to go fetch the families of the guards who have, and to have pyres arranged. The scene that follows is one part no. It is one part public funeral, one part public execution. The families turn out with their whatever close friends they can muster at this. Captain Rashid instructs you to move the zombies to lay on the pile.
I do.
And after a brief moment, which none of the people assembled seem to want to get too close, there is a lot of wailing from family members. They ignite the pyres, and you feel a snap as your control slackens on the zombies as they literally.
How much of a snap are we talking with 7 zombies?
Probably not all at once.
Okay.
Because they'll, degrade at different rates.
Okay.
But you do feel them basically stop existing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your burden to bear.
The chaotic good necromancer is going to be over here introspecting, guys.
From here, yeah, Fizzle, you receive by runner the components you asked. I don't believe you need. Do you need to make any rolls for a character sheet? Where are you?
Craft mundane.
Yes.
Do. Choose specific craft. You can create items that are relevant to your chosen craft, and your GM will determine the speed at which you craft based on the nature of the item and the materials you have access to. Your tier in the craft mundane item feat determines the maximum wealth level of the items that you can craft. It says not a thing about rolling.
Okay, so I'm just going to assume that, yeah, you can craft just by saying you craft. That's actually kind of no chance of fucking it up.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah, that is a benefit to this game. All right, so
Don't forget the magic hammer.
oh yeah, you guys do have a right to go through the vault, which is a scene we'll probably have to.
Oh, we haven't done that yet? Okay.
We have not done that yet. So, yep, Fizzle. How's the delivery through the portal gonna go? You just made round bombs and you're gonna bowl them through? Do you have a cart?
A cart might work. That way you can get them all through at once instead of rolling in like 1 or 2 barrels.
Sure, yeah. Cart's good.
Okay.
And then just have Marcus Hulk out and just say shove open the portal and then close the portal once it's through.
Marcus would be happy to do that.
We need someone to go in a Sing Telegram outfit. Say special delivery first.
Produce volunteers.
Vidus might end up stuck on the other side of that portal.
You missed the conversation about the potential of Vidus dying and me getting 2 familiars in his place.
Oh,
But I'd like Vidus to get chopped in half by a great axe if we're gonna go that route, so I have 2 Viduses.
wait,
Half and
would
half.
that mean that you have one familiar is Vid and the other one is Oos?
Yes.
We made the discovery that basically you could be like a level 1 character with level 1 stats and just pour all of your extra attribute and feat points into your familiar, your companion.
Bit of the bow and deuce of the net.
I don't know. I'd have to rethink that one.
Either way, following the funeral of the zombies, what is the party going to prioritize? And the completion of the bombs, what's the party's like course of actions? Like, in what order do you...
We need to do bombs first because we have no idea if they had a check-in schedule.
Got it?
Oh, wait, is the vampire still alive, right? Wasn't his method of execution going to be he was going to walk the bombs through the portal?
I don't know if he has the strength to walk.
Oh.
We can throw him
So
on
we
the
just-
cart.
Exactly.
Except, wait, what am I saying? He does have the strength to walk. That's how he made the footprints on the goddamn map. Sorry.
Well, we can solve that problem.
It's been many weeks. I'm sorry.
Well, we can solve that problem. He no longer has the strength to walk.
He doesn't have the strength if he doesn't have feet.
Exactly. And there's a giant werewolf who likes sitting on his lap.
Aw.
Aw.
I have always found your kind repulsive.
400 pounds of werewolf sitting on somebody's lap does not mean you're able to move very easily.
You are covered in mange and fleas.
Anyway, as far as getting to the priority thing, it's are we just summarizing a discussion here, or do we want to actually chat it out in character?
We can chat now in character. That's fine.
And so
So,
oh, I was talking after I pushed the freaking mute button. So, I guess still at the funeral and whatnot, like off to the side. Like I just say, all right. So when we know we need to build the bombs, we need to detonate the bombs, and the captain owes us a reward. What else is on our to-do list for the evening?
Supper would be appreciated.
I don't think we had anything else specifically on the docket except for
Fizzle, how long do you think it'll take you to build the bombs?
Josh.
okay, so we're making like barrel bombs, right?
Yes, we want big booms.
Mega barrel bombs, Josh.
I have creation magic.
You're thinking that with magical aid, probably like 2
2 hours.
hour and a half if you hour
Depending
and a
on
half
how
if you
jam-packed we want that room. Sound good?
What were you trying to say, Josh?
hour and a half if you forego glitter. But I imagine in Fizzle's mind, it's like, but why would I?
That's ridiculous, and you shut your mouth.
So 3 hours.
In my head, I just have this picture of a sparkly wagon filled with a bunch of barrels that are all sparkly and shiny, and then it just explodes in like a rave light of glitter everywhere.
Yes.
You know that white salt would probably make pretty good glitter.
And I will also say that as far as making sure that we can produce a catalyst for you, Fizzle, the he reaches in like under his little armored looking coat into his breastplate or the breast of his jacket, and he pulls out the rune stone, and he just holds up. I can make sure you have however much you need of whatever you need. What we need, what I believe we need to make sure to coordinate is the guard captain offered you manpower.
Uh-huh.
So we need to know how many hands he's able to offer, how many skilled hands he's able to offer you that can follow your instruction for how to build these.
I suppose that's fair. I mean, we are talking about volatile alchemical reactions here. But if he's got anyone, then sure, yeah.
Okay,
Josh,
so
remind me again, where did I find that letter?
You found it on the table with all the books. Or specifically, Acvis found it and then handed it to you when it became obvious that you were the only one who could read it.
Oh, that's right.
I do have a question for you about the book that I kept, Josh. Whenever.
What's the question?
What's in it?
Shit, you're gonna make me go back and listen to last week's episode, aren't you?
Yep.
it
Just
was
get
a
back to me
basic
whenever.
primer.
No, it was the other one.
Oh,
I left the basic primer on the table specifically, which he remembered. Just
I believe it was a book detailing the creation of undead, like the processes, like how to make different.
thought. And I can't remember if you said that that was what the note about the mana sand was in or not.
I believe that was a separate note.
Okay.
I feel that I need to interject something here. This whole vampire situation is going to get a lot worse unless we go back to Jarhead.
agreed.
Well, so far the vampires have just been using zombies. But apparently they're working with the Jumarad to learn all of their necromantic skills. So, specters, skeletons, wights, and the ability to become a lich.
Which means that when we get around to figuring out how to try and contain them, we have to make sure that it can block planeswalking.
But this letter says that there are methods to bring the barrier back.
Could the barrier block planeswalking?
It was meant to keep everything out of Jumarad.
So was that a yes then?
It was a yes.
Well, as far as tackling one issue at a time, I believe Actus may have hit it on the nose. Let's get some food first. It's been a very long day. Make the explosives. And then we will see what we need to do about getting back to your plane. I'll see what the book knows about some of these things.
Can I see the codex
Yeah.
for a moment?
I would really like to kill these stupid vampires.
Oh, that's what the bomb's for.
I mean, depending on how big the facility is, how thick the walls are, and all that, we might not do that much damage, but we will make sure they won't be getting back here anytime soon.
Can we send a beacon through the portal with the bombs so that we can track the location of the portal and walk to it should we desire later? One that will not be
Hang on.
destroyed by the explosion.
That is an idea. Out of character,
I
Josh.
have those
Question about
additional-
present stuff.
Yes.
What's its limitation on things like ranges?
Present stuff.
Yeah. That would be under Boone, I guess.
Yeah, it'd probably be under Boone for how far it goes. And I imagine you could affect anyone, since it's presence, I imagine it could be anyone who can see and hear.
By... Okay, so the way that the scrying thing says it works is through supernatural magic or extrasensory perception, you reach out and connect with an object or place, gaining the ability to read residual information from it and divine what has occurred in its vicinity in the past.
Prescience, not presence. Josh.
Prescience, not presence. Got it. If it's scrying, then potentially unlimited. That's kind of the thing about scrying. It's like it might not give accurate information, but you can, anything you know of, you can, or anything you don't know of too, technically. D&D rules, guys.
Woo! Okay. But yeah, at that suggestion, it is somewhat reasonable. Like that I should say that it could happen. Prescience or any form of scrying would technically allow us to look at the same place functionally whenever we want.
Yeah, Zambi's making a break for it.
No, I'm just deleting tokens. I don't need anymore.
I cast creation spell, Sunlight Beam. Hadouken.
Yeah, but unless Sunny Day is up, you have to charge it for the next round charging.
Anyway,
Okay.
But yes, the plans to detonate this bomb T-Drix will not take out all of them. That's not the point. The point is, we're giving them a very rude hand gesture, and we're trying to cause as much collateral damage as we can. If nothing else, it gives them another project to have to divert resources to as they fix structural damage to the foundations of their castle.
Hang on, I'm waiting to hear about Josh about something.
The bee need not slay the bear, merely blind him.
Functionally, yes. Very odd and very odd metaphor, but applicable.
Akvis kind of wrinkles her nose. She looks a little bit confused at this metaphor. They don't have bears on her plane.
It's a sage thing. I'm not allowed to just say things. Can I see the codex for a moment?
Sure.
The codex warms in your hands.
Oh, it likes me.
You don't lick it. Pretty sure it likes everyone more than Akvis. She licks it.
Jing will take the codex over to the notes, the 4D specifically, and ask it if it can scan these into its own pages for later reference. You want me to copy?
Set me against the book is what comes up on the text of the page.
Cricket.
I'm right here. So yes, as you set the codex against each book, its pages, flip through rapidly as writing appears and then disappears. Information added to the Infinite Archive.
Alright, next we need to steal all the vampires' MP3s and...
Okay.
Jing will take the book kindly and give it back.
While I am sure that these bombs will hurt the vampires, I want to kill them. And I don't think it's going to kill a lot of them.
Perhaps,
Yes,
perhaps not. But do we really want to go walk into the basement of an enemy stronghold and just start storming them from the portal up?
No. There's enough guardians there, and night is just too long.
Have you been to Calibran?
No. But yes.
It's one or the other.
Nah, it can be both.
Something happened when I was trying to charm that slave. I saw into his brain.
Full person.
Interesting. So you learned things that he knows.
Yes. So I want to see them die.
Oh, and I have no doubt. And
As you admit how much you want to see them die. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
oh, sorry. More foxes being a friggin' putz. What's up? Am I still working?
Yeah.
Cool.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I just switched off more fox because it keeps causing delay. At this point, Malgarian just kind of nods and inhales really slowly. Given that they have caused nothing but trouble for anyone outside of their plane or within it, I understand. But at that point, it becomes: are we going to go deal with Caberlin, and specifically this one house of vampires? Or do we go assist your plane? Because not enough of us will survive trying to eradicate that house of vampires right now.
I wasn't suggesting a direct assault. I just want to see them die. At some point.
Okay.
Well, then be patient, lad, because we're going to be killing them for a very long time.
Chop them down, they get back up. Again.
There are more certain manners in which we can deal with the undead.
So, Josh, you were about to say?
Yes, as you espouse this desire to kill the vampires, out through the corner of your view, about maybe I'd say 10 feet away, the individual known as the slave maid, in your mind you know his name is Nanaro, almost a quasi-transparent image of him appears. And he speaks. Now, only Tedrix can see and hear this.
Guilt ghost.
Now, come now. My lords are not all that. They are fair. Strength gives life.
I'm just gonna turn into him. I'm gonna say they will all die.
Tedrix, who are you talking to?
Yes. Did Cedric just turn around and talk to the air?
Yes, he did.
I'm just going to stand over here now.
The image shrugs and goes, "You know they'll think you're crazy.
Well,
They can't see me."
At this point, Tedrix is just gonna
Or
look at
hear me.
everybody else.
This is all in your head.
Hmm. I think something else happened when our minds linked.
Yeah, you don't say.
Tedrix, have you gone crazy?
Josh.
Did the peek into his stupid mind give you brain damage?
I don't even know how.
I'm gonna take that as yes.
I don't know
fig-
how.
The figment utters, "Well, you attempted magic that shouldn't have been
You
used on a human."
shut up.
And he quiets.
Josh.
Marcus, on the other side of the illusion, just sits there looking at
This
him
is gonna be
questioningly.
fun.
It's gonna be so awesome.
No, Fizzle actually says that. Like,
Oh.
in character.
I'm saying it out of character.
Josh, just for the sake of addressing your whole "is it a ghost or is it not" trope in character. Oh, wait. First, Sarah's back now. So, Jimmy,
Oh God.
Jimmy, what just happened?
Teedrix has started talking to thin air.
That's what we see. What does Teedrix see?
He's talking to Nanero, the necromancer.
What do Akvis and Vidus see?
Air.
Air. You see Teedrix talking to thin air.
Can I roll prescience? Can I roll prescience on this?
If you'd like. I'm going,
That's the thing I was going to try to roll.
I'm going to warn you that it's not going to turn back any results.
That's fine. Am I still advantage 3 from Malgarian?
No, I think he dropped that effect.
And besides that, that was on your entry.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So
No,
let
you
me
don't
get this
get-
straight. Teedrix is talking to midair. Everyone else is staring at him, and Akvis has been eating something that she pulled out of the bag that Vidus was riding in, and just looks
Oh,
up
and-
and
Well,
Does
for
a
additional
double take.
context, Teedrix did just admit that when he attempted to charm and coerce the necromancer, Nanaro, to tell the truth, something happened, and he now has memories and information on the vampire's keep.
I heard that.
And then he started talking into Fid.
And Teeters, after yelling the first time, because there's been 2 outbursts, noticed that everyone was looking at him funny, and was starting to calm down and let everybody know that this has to be something that happened because of the whole mind thing. And then he said something else, and it was basically, "You shut up."
Outstanding.
I know.
Wait.
I can't wait.
Outstanding.
Okay, Teedrix. Next time this happens, say whatever he says to you word for word to us, only use a silly voice, and, like, turn to the side. And then you switch back to the regular side with your voice when it's you.
Are you telling him to roleplay?
It's meta.
At this point, Malgarian just starts rubbing the bridge of his nose. He starts walking away like, I'm gonna go find dinner.
Akvis offers him some date-like fruit that
He's
she
gonna
must have
look at
acquired
it.
at the bazaar. It smells very, very spicy.
He shakes his head.
This is temporary, right? This will go away.
I hope not.
It's your magic that you botched, so you're the one who should be an expert on this.
My leash whip can control emotions. It has never ever operated that way, ever.
Yes, and you use it on giant sauropods.
I've used it on humans before.
It's so what did you do wrong?
I didn't do anything wrong.
Maybe he had an enchantment. Something to mess with your whip.
It's a distinct possibility.
But he did have mind magic.
The vampires might have given it to him, or might have forced it upon him.
A simple observation spell so that they could keep an. He's like 8 feet away, and he just stops. And he starts rubbing his forehead again. Would you trust an agent who is a beaten slave out on their own, mostly, without having some sort of spell that monitors what kind of condition that they're in?
He was a trusted one.
When you're planning multiple planar invasions, would you not at least have a caveat? Even if he's trusted, he's on his own. You want to, it would save you having to open up the portal regularly to do a check-in. I'm not saying that it is what the case is, but that may be what botched it.
Is there really any point speculating? If Tedrix does not know exactly what has come to pass here, perhaps it is our best interest to consider finding an expert in the matters? Because despite the fact that it is, in fact, not quite right, it is, in the end, in his head, not something I, at least, am equipped to handle without removing his head from his shoulders, and I suspect that that might be frowned upon. Besides, I'm starting to grow fond of him.
Aww. And no, you're right, there's no point in speculating. It's simply an idea that I just had that if correct, throws a wrench in some of our plans. If the portal doesn't open tomorrow and we try to throw the bombs through it, then, they knew.
I want alcohol.
I will be severely disappointed, but then we can just go blow up part of the desert. It'll be fun.
When you say you want alcohol, the figment reappears and simply says, "That'll make this."
Just gonna glare at the nothingness.
Is it talking to you right now? Do the thing! Do the thing! Do the thing!
I'm gonna go find some meat.
Dirty.
Akvis follows Malgarian to go find some meat.
Yep, Tedrix does too.
So a dragon, a lizard, and a human walk into a bar. All looking for the same thing.
We need your thickest bratwurst.
You don't know this is like Arabian Nights. I don't know if they have bratwurst.
I don't care. I want to know what it translates to.
Camel dick.
Malgarian is a natural carnivore. He don't give a fuck. He eats the whole camel.
An entire... You say bratwurst, but it comes out to an entire cured leg of goat.
Wonderful.
That seems like
eating?
an upgrade for him, actually.
And when you try to pay, the tavern keep waves off your thing and says, Guard Captain Rashid has established you a tab for the...
Excellent. They immediately points at Tedrix without looking at him, like arms straight out to the side. Points at Tedrix, says, "I want you hearing nothing but voices for the rest of the night." See how many spirits we can put in you and have you actually retain them.
Dirty.
This is not funny.
It's slightly funny.
His hardly amusing, but perhaps a learning experience for all involved. No
I
offense,
would-
Teatrix.
If you want to look at it from a more experimental and method, Tedrix, we'll know how your new friend reacts. And in a situation that's not a critical life or death one.
Kedrix drinks. Begrudgingly.
So, eating, drinking, bomb making. Sounds like a good night. Let's explore it a little. So, Tedrix,
Yes.
as you drink more and get more drunk, it is a little bit as the Figment said. The looser your tongue gets, the more he tends.
Outstanding.
Though I imagine it's going to be more of the same with the appearance and then you telling him to shut up.
Yeah, I guess it all depends on what he's saying.
Could I mind
That all
meld
depends
with
on what-
prescience?
That all depends on what you're saying.
I want. Okay, I've got this. Hold on. So first answer Sarah's question. I have to find a thing.
Can I mind meld with
I
prescience?
don't believe so. Mind meld would be influence.
Influence? Okay.
Darn.
Read minds or auras?
Because, yeah, I believe that isn't memory dread an influence?
Speak telepathically. Read minds! Wait.
Or not memory dredge, mind dredge. It's an influence.
Okay. But I can read minds with prescience.
Can
According
you?
to the character sheet, it says, see the future, read minds or auras, view from afar, detect magic or evil, communicate with extraplanar entities.
On
And-
the boons.
Influence says, control the minds of others, speak telepathically, instill fear, create illusory figments, cloak with invisibility. I'm literally just reading the expansion of the character sheet. Extraordinary skills.
The character
Let me
sheet's
give it a look.
matching the boons page.
Help, Josh. If it's influence, that's fine.
Yeah, it is influence. It's in the boons that, like, mind dredge, which you would use to read surface thoughts, is an influence.
Cool. Akvis will lightly pat Teatrix on the shoulder the next time he reacts to a vision, and then pull up a chair and sit down and have a drink next to him. Someone's got to keep an eye on the poor human.
Perfect. Okay, this leads wonderfully into the thing I was gonna bring up. So imagine what happens, because Tetrix isn't a bad-looking dude, right? So
Right.
what happens when some half-drunk barmaid chick comes walking up and just sits on one of his legs, just leans over and puts her head on his shoulder, just says, "I'm bored. You look like you could entertain me."
The things that happen in Matt's taverns are much more interesting than what happens in.
I'm going to clip that voice line and send it to Cassie
Go for it.
Go for it.
later.
Ah,
So So Tetrix is drunk and hearing things, and Akvis is on one side working on drunk, not yet hearing things. And there's a barmaid on Tetrix's leg.
Yeah, I'm looking something up right quick. Sorry.
I just want you to know I'm not apologizing.
To be fair, no one asked you to.
Oh, come on. Is it?
This is why you need to never trust me with Succeed with a Twist. This right here.
This right fucking here.
Well, I'm just looking for a name
Okay.
that I of the that woman. I'm gonna have to just come up with something else.
Stacy. Just because it's a surprisingly generic name.
Oh, I was wrong. Mind Dredge is prescience.
Can I prescience him?
You need a power level 4 success. And Tetrix can resist it via resolve or yeah.
Or just lie back and let it happen.
Can I have advantage because he's drunk? Okay.
That's a loaded question.
Let me
That is a loaded.
Let me
loaded
clarify,
fucking
I do
question.
not condone rape, either mental or physical, and I'm very fucking sorry for what's about to happen, Tetrix.
Okay, so with the barmaid, he's gonna say you are not Kali, so no.
I could be.
You definitely couldn't be. She can't be here.
Fine. At which point she gets up, walks over to stand in front of Akvis, and that. How big is Akvis?
6'3".
She's gonna sit on Akvis's leg.
Akvis will pet her hair and then dump her ass on the floor.
She passes out drunk.
That's fine. Akvis tows her away so that she's like out of the way and slightly under the bar. Or under the table that we're sitting at, whatever. I don't know if we're sitting in the bar or at a table. Akvis gently rolls her out of the way. She looks a little bit disgruntled and a little bit disgusted.
Where was Ching? Oh, there's Ching.
Tetrix, precisely how intoxicated are you right now?
Oh, he's getting shit-faced.
Oh, Jing stayed in the... Jing wouldn't have gone up.
May I attempt something with your permission, Tetrix?
Like what?
Seeing what you see.
Sure.
Very much
The drunker
tongue-in-cheek. Go ahead.
the drunker he gets, he's gonna start singing, probably badly, Rilaru, bar songs, you know, or rallying songs.
I just want you to know that I appreciate you, Jimmy.
Yeah, since he's willing, I will give you advantage. Advantage 1.
I have advantage against the drunk Tetrix. Hashtag out of context, top quotes.
Take your advantage.
I did.
Okay. So you mind dredge him.
Actually, you know what? Since Teedrix is now to the point that he's singing, every time, Nanaro, it was Nanaro, right?
Yes, Nanara.
Nanaro, sorry. Every time he starts talking, Tedric sings a little bit louder.
What is Akvis seeing, hearing, reading,
You don't-
sensing?
You don't see anything, but you realize something inside Tedric's head and thoughts. There are two voices. Both of them are Tedric's. But one seems to be, drunk Tedric's being agitated with the other voice. Which right now relates to you, the thing that he's currently sitting on the table talking to Tedric's about. See, this is all in your head. I'm you. Just a different you. A you don't want to accept.
How much ability would I have with Mind Dredge to, help Tedric start to build a mental wall around this?
Probably none. You can just hear surface thoughts.
Okay. I don't.
But you now know that, yes, he's not crazy. This is something that's really going on in his head.
I'm going to take my hands off of Tedric's face, where they were placed Vulcan Mind Melt style.
I didn't know that part.
I just pulled it out of my ass.
So yeah, as voices talking from the table, and Tedrix keeps singing louder and louder. He's still glaring at the middle of the table.
Akvis shakes her head, lashes the air with her tail behind her. Well, that was highly unsettling. There are two of him. Shit, I went Irish.
You're drinking.
There are two of... I'm stuck! There are two of him.
You're stuck.
There are no S's in that sentence, Matthew! There are two of him, in a way that does not quite make sense. As if they are fighting one another. But one does not belong and knows that it does not belong. Akvis is going to move to sit on the table in front of Tedrix where he is glaring.
When you do, the figment moves.
That's fine.
It doesn't move as in it gets up and walks or anything that's natural. It just appears elsewhere.
I will watch Tedrix's reaction to this.
Specifically, it's now standing... Hang on, let me actually just get Nanaro's token.
So Akvis is on the table. It's great.
Some of the barmaids look at you strangely. Oh great, is this gonna sort of break into a song and dance number?
Oh no, she's sitting cross-legged on the table. She pats Marcus's head.
There we go. He's now over there.
Wait, Marcus? I didn't realize he was in the map. Thought he was still downstairs.
We're at dinner.
We're at dinner, yeah.
Yeah, you're at dinner. This is not the actual tavern you just cleared out. I'm just using it because it's a tavern map. This is the tavern elsewhere in the city. I should have clarified, but we were role-playing.
Yeah, that's hopeful. Marcus will growl quietly.
Caduce will come over and curl up around Marcus's feet.
And no
Okay.
complaints.
That's all.
Wait, what token is that?
That's Matt's token
Oh, okay.
for his disguise for this plane.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's gonna suck when I have to figure out, because I like that picture.
No, if he's all the way over there, Tedrix will lower the volume a bit because I'm sure he's rather loud and obnoxious. But yeah, no, he's gonna continue singing.
Akvis is going to refill his mug, or stein, or whatever he's holding.
The figment speaks, and it's as though he's right next into your ear. That won't work. I'm in your head. Distance doesn't matter.
At this point, Teach goes, "Oh, come on!"
Do the thing, Teedrix. Do the thing.
What thing do you speak of?
Fine, then shut up.
And it disappears for a moment.
It's just gonna be back.
I'm just imagining Teedrix singing and then suddenly with his hands in his head, or his head in his hands, sobbing. It's just gonna come back. Sorry.
That is pretty much gonna be Teedrix's night.
Just for shits and giggles, Marcus is going to cast Restoration and get rid of the drunk debuff.
Forcibly detoxed.
Yep.
Feels bad, man.
There are worse ways to come out of it. I mean, at least this way you don't get a hangover.
True.
Hey Matt, if you want to roleplay that out, you can. I think I'm pretty much done. That's all Teedrix is doing for the rest of it.
Jimmy has tortured his character enough.
For
There's
now,
no
yeah.
such thing.
I said for now.
Okay, then that being the case, you guys hear kind of from the after the restoration spell goes off, and poor Teedrix just kind of has to sit there and resign himself to life choices and all that. As I said in the chat, Malgarian seems to have been eating way more than somebody of his current size should be able to actually put away. And so he's what's Fizzle eating and or drinking?
A little bit of everything.
Just sampling.
So some goat, some curries, some stews.
Yep.
So
Fruit plates, whatever else, whatever they got, anything, everything.
So Malgarian ends up digging, like he just digs his fingers into the meat and pulls off like a 4 or 5 inch strip, and he just kind of, with his elbow on the table, just kind of lets his wrist flop over the other direction, so he's pointing at Fizzle with the meat. So, how much of a mess do you want to shove through that portal tomorrow?
First,
You're gonna be the one building it.
Right. First, don't you point your meat at me.
He winks.
Second, I mean, however much I don't have a. There's no such thing as too much explosives. So we will jam as many in there as either physically possible or until everyone's tired of waiting to build more.
On a scale from destroying a small 2-story house to a no survivors protocol, where would you like to sit?
No survivors.
Okay. Then we're definitely gonna need to talk to the captain. Because the runestone is a one-shot thing. My creation magic works a lot easier here, but we'll see how much stuff I can make for you.
All right, that materials could be a limiting factor as well. That's
Anyway. At this point, he's going to kind of lean in towards Fizzle, and he's going to whisper a little bit quieter. How well... I know that you're just out here for the adventure and for the fun. How committed are you to the idea of trying to fight a war against an entire faction of vampires and or plane invading necromancers?
As long as it stays interesting.
So keep the explosions coming.
I mean, even that'll get boring after a while, so maybe not. I don't know how to finish that. I think I just said something stupid. Explosions all the time. Yeah.
He's gonna reach over, and he doesn't. It's like somewhere between a pat and a ruffle on top of her head with one hand, the clean hand.
The non-meat hand.
Correct.
I was gonna say, did you just get goat all up in my hair?
Do you want me to?
No.
Oh, it's delicious. Oh, that's as far as I wanted to go with that scene.
Doesn't belong in my hair.
From what I understand, it is hard to get out of hair
I don't know.
or dresses.
I just rolled around in blood that one time.
In fact, actually, come to think of it, Fizzle, the last time we were in this nice, we also hunted down a vampire, and now we're wanted. Cheers.
Oh, we've come full circle. It's amazing.
I think we're still in square one.
Circles, squares, they're all shapes.
All these squares make a circle.
Something like that, sure.
Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with that.
All right. Anyone else want to do anything before they advance the next day and the booms? Going once, going twice. My connection derp. Say that again, Jimmy.
I said nope.
Okay. So, you all did a restful night's sleep. And awake in the morning.
Jing,
I will say that
walked over the blood machine, fast asleep.
He has studied it hard.
Yep, you made it dirty now.
The guards are disassembling it and moving it away around him, like around his sleeping form.
That's so rude.
As the rest of the party arrives for the scheduled boom booms, they find the materials required to finish the bomb. And
The
three
bomb.
craftsmen skilled in the act to help out.
Hello, new friends. We're about to build the biggest explosion you have ever seen in your life.
I hope that they don't see it, since it's going to be on the other side of a shut portal.
They look apprehensively to one another. Like, what is Captain Rashid actually volunteered us to do with this? She said we'd just be making some explosives.
Yes. We're planning
Yeah.
the highest yield level of... Well, we're sending the highest yield message that we can through that portal.
It's gonna be a big message.
While everybody's talking and trying to get on the same page and everything, Marcus is going to be busy in the corner trying to replicate all of the materials that is necessary, because he's got creation magics too.
Sweet. Josh, do I need to roll this?
Yep, both need to roll it.
And the plane has advantage 2 on creation.
Yes, indeed.
Well, Garion pulls out the rune stone. Wow. The rune stone just told me to go. Why is it still on keep 1?
I do not know.
Okay, so at what point is it supposed to go to keep 2? Because I had advantage 5.
Let me try something. What's the biggest stat I can roll with this? Apparently, when your pool has additional dice base, because that's a 2d8 he just rolled.
Okay. Are we allowed to retcon the addition of the runestone?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool. Because it takes 3 days to recharge. So, I mean, the roll's the same. Open Legend Boon. Genesis. Okay, so it's functionally... So you functionally made a power 3. You can create permanent non-sentient matter.
How
using
much?
this... So Marcus functionally created 1 cubic foot of non-living matter per attribute point of the invoking attribute.
Yeah, and I've got 3 in that, so 3 cubic feet of explosive materials.
Gunpowder.
I mean, to be fair, 3 cubic feet of gunpowder is terrifying.
Yes. I created 5 cubic feet per attribute point at creation 4. So... Okay. So we have...
It is worth noting.
3...
23 cubic feet.
Yeah, of whatever materials that it is that Fizzle needs for the kaboom.
It's worth noting that was our first hour.
That's true. So, given that the only thing that it lists here is that it has to be non-sentient matter, what are we making this bomb out of?
I might veto certain things, like your
What? You mean we're not using to? We're not
I was going to assume that
radioactive isotopes.
Fine. Plutonium.
yes, I might veto modern materials such as uranium, napalm, so on and so forth.
To be fair, alchemist fire is a thing in most fantasy settings, and that is just napalm.
And also, to be fair, napalm, in more or less its present design, was discovered about 400 years ago. It just didn't really have any practical use.
Well, butter my biscuit.
No.
So-
Anyway, I
so-
figure standard gunpowder would be probably the most practical.
Well, so here's the thing: to the person making the bomb, Emily, what would you like to be making this out of?
I know 0 things about explosives, so stuff that goes boom.
Okay.
Can I run a reasoning check to give her some ideas?
Well,
Well-
her character would know.
Okay.
Fizzle would know about stuff. I have 0 clue what's what.
Emily, you need to study more chemistry to help Monday night game.
I hate chemistry.
So, question for the GM. Since Anfo's pretty much out, can we use C4?
It's just angry Play-Doh.
I am not allowed an angry Play-Doh. No. I will give you the pass on the napalm because it's factual.
Yeah, but in this case, it's not going to be very useful.
Let's see. Google medieval explosives.
I think that just mostly have been black powder.
Yeah, gunpowder or black powder is most likely going to be the thing to use.
Yeah, gunpowder, 1800 or 800. Sorry. Wow.
What about dynamite?
Plus, gunpowder would be easier to put the glitter in.
Can we make dynamite?
Theoretically, it came around in the 1780s, I think it was. I mean,
What do you think you could do with 23 cubic feet of dynamite?
A lot.
Would you like to
It's
see the math on that?
The impact
Yes.
relative to gunpowder would probably be about double.
I'm just saying, also the fact that the plane I do come from is kind of Magitech anyway, would TNT be feasible?
Okay, so in 1 kilogram of TNT, there are 4.612 megajoules of energy. That's 1,101,574 calories, or 1.281 kilowatt hours. And coming in at a mass of 227.13 grams per mole. Why are we measuring the mass of TNT in grams per mole?
Because we need to know what a mole of moles does in space.
Because
Okay.
we measure the mass of everything.
I don't know what's going on.
That's very fair. I'll do my math. You all do that. I'll tell you how much boom you get, Emily. I'm working on it.
We have 23 cubic feet.
23. Okay.
I understand it's not in meters. I apologize.
It is 23 cubic feet of materials to make the stuff.
She has an excellent point. Plus, you're gonna have to fit it all into like a 4x4 on the grid space. So like maybe like a 20-foot by 20-foot space.
You're
Oh.
forgetting it vertically.
I'm also fine with throwing stuff in there before pushing the cart in, whatever extra, piling it high. all that.
Including your nearly dead vampire?
Yes.
Yes.
And let's be honest, we can go be like, we can call up the captain and be like, we need more carts.
Well,
Because looking it up, dynamite is an explosive made of nitroglycerin sorbents, such as powdered shell or clay, and stabilizers. It's almost all just straight nitroglycerin
Mm-hmm.
and things for it to just stick to.
like glitter.
Like glitter.
Like glitter.
So we can make a hard-packed shell of glitter full of nitroglycerin.
So, traditionally, when you're using dynamite, what you'll do is you'll just stabilize that dynamite so that when you do things like have a giant werewolf push the cart and have that cart lurch, nothing explodes.
Yes, that's what the sorbents.
I just want you all to be clear that we're talking about like 1,074 kilograms of dynamite.
Yeah, and?
Go forward. Carry on to victory.
So,
Well,
Sarah, were you able to find what the explosive yield? How much was it?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
I'm still doing fucking unit conversions because you gave it to me in cubic feet.
It's point. Here, I figured I already did it. Google did it for me.
I think we're taking out a few more portals than just one. That's what I think.
Okay, so just to give you context,
The fuck is that conversion factor, Matt? What does that even mean?
That's
Cubic
how many
meters of
cubic
what?
meters of nitroglycerin. Okay, I'm pretty sure if we type in how much boom
You have
does
okay. I don't care about the volume of it. I care about the mass of it. And at 1.65 grams per cubic centimeter, you have 1,074 kilograms of TNT, which means
Yes.
that you get a big boom.
that's known as 1 kiloton.
Yes, but that's like 1.074 kiloton. Fuck off. Heart.
Right. So, the reason I say kiloton is because that's actually what we use to measure explosives.
Yeah, I'm talking about mass.
since-
I'm not talking about explosive power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, kilotons are
Oh,
traditional there, but...
I'm a chemistry person. I want megajoules. Actually, I really
Fair enough.
want watt hours electric because. But
Sorry, I sent you a thing. I don't know if it helps.
did you send me? I don't
I'm
trust
on a
that.
federal watch list now.
Yeah, I also don't trust that site because it can't get grams to fucking cubic. It can't do density right. It's wrong.
Well, you figured it out. I'm taking a bathroom break. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Wait, shit!
So,
I lost
in
my
other
units,
words-
y'all.
I think I
In
will
other
be doing
words-
that too then, since we're taking.
Oh,
If
since that
the-
was only our first hour, we need to roll for a second hour, because we said we were going to be doing this for 3 hours, right?
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
1,376,712 kilowatt hours of energy,
Yeah,
Oh, Lord.
Sounds about right.
or you know,
So, just to give you
400
guys-
no 4.95 megajoules or gigajoules.
Yeah, so just to give you guys context, 1 kiloton is roughly enough to level a city block with just the explosion, not the pressure wave. The pressure wave will probably go for about 3 or 4 blocks around it.
580 meters. Ish.
Oh, okay. So wait, you had the megawatt hours, right?
I have gigajoules, megajoules, and kilowatt hours.
Okay, here I found.
Which number would you like?
I don't know. I'm just gonna send you the website because you actually know what the fuck you're doing. I'm just excited.
Okay, yes, I have the gigajoules. I have the number.
Yes, but it has other things in there, and I thought it said something about. Oh no, never mind. I misread it. Disregard. Carry on. I'm not doing anything helpful.
But
Oh,
that's
there we
not
go.
the right conversion
So how big
factor.
of a move?
Whoops.
The first hour resulted in enough explosions to create an energy release of 490 or 4.95 gigajoules. That's to the tune of 1,376,000 kilowatt hours.
Yeah.
5
Also, I just barely looked at the freaking chat, and Gladius.
Yeah.
Gladius. The DM will remember this.
So I did
How
the
many
gigajoule
megajoules or newton
conversion
meters is that?
to megatons.
Wait, it's SI. Everything is nice.
I don't.
4.956 times 10 to the 12th newton meters of force.
Yeah.
That's a number I like.
The worst part is I actually understand what that means.
Newton meter sounds like a made-up unit that you'd hear in, like, bad techno babble.
Okay. So,
Now,
it's a unit of torque. Or force. A newton meter is... Oh shit, it's the force of 1 newton applied perpendicularly to the end of a moment arm that is a meter long from the pivot.
Ah. Right.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
I can easily envision this.
Shh. It's fine.
So, for our second hour,
yes, our second tower.
god damn it. At least I'm consistent.
Oh yeah. By the way, so yeah, if we're continuing to roll this, then that means you just have to do more math.
That's fine.
Oh my god.
It's the same, isn't it? Right?
Yes,
I don't have to do more math.
Okay.
Well, yes, you do. You have to add it to itself.
That's
Tedrix. Tedrix.
Yes.
As you watch this stuff be created, you suddenly get the feeling that your wish to have a lot of vampires get killed is going to come true.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. This is gonna be like an orbital strike.
It's a portal strike.
I think the time that we were doing orbital strikes, they were probably doing less damage than this.
Oh no!
Oh!
Lucky I made it smart enough to make sure that... It's lucky that I was a smart enough DM to ensure that though all of the portals are in the same facility, they're not actually close to one another.
Okay.
So
But I still think you're going to take out an extra couple.
so your creation was rank 3. So that roll of 30 creates another 15 cubic cubic feet.
Okay,
Not cubic meters.
thank you.
I believe we are surplus to demand.
Never.
One of the craftsmen literally looks at it and goes, I believe we are surplus to demand.
Okay, so how many cubic feet do we have?
Cards.
Total. How many cubic feet of TNT do we have?
Okay, so I made 20.
We had 2 sets of 23. So that's 46.
60.
Okay. So what's the third set?
Okay, so hold on.
I had 2 sets of 23.
75, 81. 81 cubic feet.
So that's 2.3 cubic meters.
One of the craftsmen leaves to go get another couple carts. Because at this point, I think you're going to need 4 of them.
Excellent.
And that's, how many?
Oh, that's right. FEMA has a thing. Sorry, carry on.
I don't want you to hear about... FEMA has a thing.
They have a PDF available for public use about explosive blasts.
Yes.
Oh no.
So
We're
at
accessing government
1.65
materials.
grams per cubic centimeter. That is 3,784,539 grams of TNT.
So, Cassie.
So 3 kilograms. Or 3 tons.
Yeah, almost 4.
Cassie, just so that you know, I really hope that your planeswalker is not in the vampire's castle. I hope the princess is in another castle because we made 81 cubic feet of TNT that we're gonna go shove through a portal.
So that's
Somebody's yeah, all of us.
where did my conversion factor go? I lost my conversion factor.
I will be right back.
So that's 1.163 kilowatt hours per kilogram. So that's 4,401.42 kilowatt hours of energy.
Yeah.
Megajoules, sure, why not? Give me joules, I don't fucking care. Whatever Google will give me. I take it back.
It is technically true at this point that we had to have FEMA help us calculate the range. The range.
15,845 megajoules. Where did my other conversion factor go? How many megajoules are there on a kiloton?
A lot.
I think it was like 4,186 or something like that, or maybe 4,186.
It's 4.18 times 10 to the 15 joules.
I knew that was part of the
Why am I doing this?
I am returned.
Megajoules.
We're still factoring the orbital strike.
15,845 megajoules of energy, which is 0.003 kilotons of TNT. That's a really fucking big boom, y'all.
The only thing that could make this better is if we make like a big sphere pot, fill it with glitter and a little tiny bit of TNT in the middle, and then that goes first. It just
For
goes boom.
comparison, the blast yield of Little Boy was 15 kilotons.
Mm-hmm.
But you said
Oh,
this
boy.
is 0.003.
0.004 if we follow our significant 0.004 or 0037871 if we follow our significant figures properly. No one likes their sig figs. I see how it is.
It's okay.
So how many city blocks is this?
Roughly 1 and change.
Okay, yeah.
But that's just the explosion, not the shockwave.
Yeah. And the shockwave, if there are tunnels or anything connecting, Um, yeah, it's going to be contingent for quite a ways.
Sarah, I'm sending you a thing because
the initial
I
blast
wanna...
is about a city block. The pressure wave is a 4 city block square area. The fireball radius is 10 meters. The air blast radius at 20 psi. Yeah.
Sarah, we're looking at times 10 to the -3, right?
Yes.
Okay. Are you already looking at the minor scale thing?
No.
Okay.
I'm
So-
looking at an actual street map.
Okay, I'm looking. So on TNT equivalent. Okay, so first of all, Wikipedia has a page of TNT equivalents.
Yes.
Yes, I know. I was on it.
Minor scale: a 1985 United States conventional explosion using 4,744 tons of ANFO.
Info.
ANFO explosive to provide a scaled equivalent air blast of an 8-kiloton nuclear device. Is believed to be the largest planned detonation of conventional explosives in history.
The problem with Anfo is it's much slower, so it's better for sending shockwaves through rock, but it's not as effective at doing damage to things in the air. That's why it's used as a mining explosive.
Well, it's a good thing the portal opens up into a tunnel structure.
Right, but we didn't make Anfo, we made TNT.
Oh, sure.
In either case, large story short, if this is under a castle or something, that entire castle is going to be shifting several meters downward.
It's not going to collapse outright necessarily, depending on how much rock and foundational stuff is between the castle proper and this tunnel system deal. But
it's probably going to shift.
It's going to get drafty at the very minimum as some of the walls develop significant cracks.
So, there you guys go. Let's get the story going.
Yes.
You have carts loaded with explosives. And the craftsmen who are helping you have bugged the fuck out. They're like, no. I am being nowhere near this. They bugged out.
Oh, are we able to get this down to 3 carts?
Do you need more than that?
Yeah, you've only got 2. You don't even have 2.5 cubic meters. You've got it in 3 carts.
You could probably fit that in 2.
Yes.
If we can fit 2, let's just do 2.
If we assume that a square is 5 by 5, we can definitely fit it in 2. We could fit it in 1 almost. It would be tight in 1. It would be rather tall and probably not fit through the portal. You can do it in 2.
Cool.
I appreciate the fact you all put up with me.
I appreciated the math almost as much as you did, and if you hadn't done it, I probably would have.
Like, I just appreciate that this gaming group is the kind of thing where I could be like, Sarah, I talked to Cassie. We need to design a ship. And the response that I get is fucking all caps, do I get to design a spaceship?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. There's your captive. In your cart full of explosives.
He's on the second cart.
You also notice that he seems to have regenerated significantly in the time when you were...
Okay.
He's now to second degree burns.
Okay, I rip off both legs and just leave them on the...
Hunt, before you do that, I have an idea. Can Akvis get him get him back under her control? And then we push him through the cart first that he's sitting in front of, and then he just says, hey guys, I'm bringing in some supplies.
Do I need to roll for this?
You could.
Do
It's
it.
going to be difficult.
Am I +3 or whatever?
If we're putting this as part of the plan, then fuck yes, I will
Okay.
bolster you.
And Vidus is going to assist. So I'm advantage 4.
Hold on, I have to get. Yeah, you're advantaged to friggin' hell and back.
Good God.
Did I do it?
Oh, that.
Let me throw a roll.
Oh crap! I didn't want to click on that. Ignore that part.
I believe it's resolve to do this. Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Come now, game. Do the thing. Oh. Okay.
That was
We're
not
just
10
taking the
plus
first one.
Bane.
Okay, so yeah, it didn't.
None of those were 10 plus Bane.
Do you have a high enough dominate to actually make him
I
to
thought
dominate a person of his intelligence?
That's
thought
a
we
power
were
level
allowing
5,
for-
isn't it?
Because he's a creature of human intelligence.
but I thought you were also allowing for Hail Mary rolls.
Yes, I am.
I needed a 20, right? No, a 30, right? Because he rolled a 20.
No, he rolled a 17
Oh,
because
okay.
the button wasn't working, so I kept clicking it, and I rolled like 1,000 times.
I just took the highest one. That works for me. Where's my power? I don't actually know how that one works out. 34 versus 17, is that a high enough power level?
I believe you do succeed. You would need
Thought I needed 32, right? To beat it by enough.
power level 9, power level 9, so
Wouldn't power level 9 just be a minimum activation of 21?
yeah, that's a minimum activation of 21.
Cool. Wait.
You rolled a 34.
Yeah. Sorry,
you
I was
got it.
looking at the 12 and I was like, wait a minute. Cool. So, this is before his legs got ripped off, yes?
Yeah, so no ripping off legs.
No ripping off legs. Going to stand the vampire's happy little ass up. He's going to toddle through the portal. He's going to open the portal and then toddle through it.
Okay.
And announce. He's a little bit worse for wear, right? But he's regenerated decently.
He is covered in his entire body's in second-degree burns.
And we're pushing the carts in behind him.
We've run into some issues. But we have supplies that we are returning with. And then he kind of falls face down on the floor. As I cut control of the spell. Shove the carts in, boys. And fizzle.
Are the fuses lit?
I think that's what Fizzle's doing as they go through the portal.
Okay, the carts roll through.
And we turn off the portal.
Yes.
Okay. As the portal closes, you hear him shouting, "Run! Run, you fool!" You get no blast. You get no confirmation the plan has worked.
On the
But
contrary,
you feel like you did everything else right.
Malgarian he just kind of steeples his fingers in front of his stomach, and he's just kind of tapping his index fingers together. Gives a few seconds of silence. Looks over to Tedrix. Would you ask the book what the condition is of that castle at the moment?
Book? Do you know the status of the castle?
Josh, did you just facepalm?
No, hang on. We are going to the page of the book.
Gladius, that was fucking okay. Meanwhile, the architect in charge of building the castle brags, "You can't build a castle on a cliff," they all said. "You're mad," they all said. I showed them.
Luckily, the castle is not on a cliff. Also, I get to use my swanky new character sheet.
Yeah.
Okay. This has been
Roll
a
the
productive
pressy.
night.
The book rolls well.
The book finally rolled well. It's like Marcus recognizing things. You have to take a moment and appreciate the fact that the book just passed a prescience roll.
Yep.
Without any keywords, too.
Mm-hmm.
I give
Literally
advantage for every keyword you feel it.
Oh, neat.
So, I'm curious.
I will say that because we heard the vampire say, "Run, you fools," right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, T just got the biggest grin on his face.
Actvist pats him. She just reaches up and pats his head and then ruffles his hair a little bit.
Which, given the long history of this game, I think this is the first time that he's smiled.
I just love Run Away, because it's like,
Run away,
why?
fools.
If you move fast enough, you can die over there.
They only have to
They're
get about...
vampires. They are vampires. They might have super speed.
Yeah, they only have to get about 500 meters away before they get knocked on their asses.
500 meters, though.
Yeah, but if they don't make it 500 meters, well, the fireball is going to take up about a city block. The actual heat wave
Yes!
for third degree burns is going to be closer to 250 meters. It's not quite half, but it's close.
Yeah. T just is showing the book to everybody with a big smile.
Actvist pats his head again.
Like, are you just gonna put his hands behind his lower back and start walking out of the cave, just muttering, "Excellent."
Man, I wish I could have seen it.
Thank you, Codex.
Can I roll prescience to scribe back into the past to watch the explosion?
That's a little petty, isn't it?
Okay. Have you met this person? Have you met this lizard?
I have.
She's petty. I would just like to point out that it is entirely in character. Pretty please, with the cherry on top.
Later tonight? Yes, certainly.
Cool. Wait, hold on.
You can do it right before bed, so you can go to sleep with sweet dreams and wetness in the sheet. It's like that scene in Alucard.
That's exactly
Or
like
in
that.
Helsingin Bridge. Helsingin Bridge, exactly, yeah.
would you want to abridge Helsing, though? Wouldn't you want to watch the...
It's hilarious.
Because I'm a fuck-mothering vampire. I killed a lot of people to get this title, and I deserve to be called such.
It's Nazis.
Oh! You are welcome, Tedrix. I have additional information for you.
Oh.
So, while Josh is typing, I appreciate the level of math and the efficacy thereof.
Okay, so
It's not like
So
they gave
the-
me a degree in this stuff or anything.
so the smile disappears. You discovered a way.
Is this the voice
How-
talking again?
No, he shows the codex to.
I hear a lot of beeping, but I'm not seeing anything.
Sorry, I'm typing.
I'm posting stuff in the Pokemon RPG channel and the RPG archive. Which actually, now that I think about it, yeah, everybody should be able to see it, I would think. Unless,
Yeah.
that's the channel.
It's just way down at the bottom, so I didn't see it.
Okay.
And the book replies.
Who wants
He
to
needs
read what the book's saying?
necromancer.
Who wants to read it?
Well,
does?
Malgarian said.
Wait,
The
is that
smile
actually
has returned.
Malgarian talking?
No,
Okay.
that was me. Bulgarian does not sound like his. Well, okay, he is a smug shithead, but he sounds like a different flavor of smug shithead. At least I try.
Fair.
After it does this, the opposite page of what's writing begins to just flow with arcane characters, detailing what is known as a mana star spell.
Okay.
One of each color at each point of the star, and one in the middle to direct.
Oh.
It's a very potent form of ritual. Luckily, you now have an abjurer in your brain, Tedrix, so you understand kind of what this spell's intending to do. It basically, through a chaos fractal, anything that enters it gets thrown out of it at a different.
Huh.
Normally a little beaten, battered, and worse for wear.
Interesting.
It will also block planar travel.
To just Jumarad or to Jarhadan period?
To just Jumarad. To wherever the barrier is erected.
Oh. Oh, this is good. Malgarian, do you know what the Song of Dominus is?
Malgarian. Considering Malgarian's been fairly well traveled, I think he does. Song of Dominus is the nickname for Dominaria, the center of the.
For Dominaria, the what?
The center of the multiverse.
Oh.
So Malgarian was just walking away, and all he hears is just, "Oh, this is good." Malgarian, do you know what the Song of Dominus is? And he just kind of stops. And he turns around, like he's very slowly turning around to look over his shoulder, raises a brow, like he's kind of like you could tell from his expression, he's going to answer, but he's thinking.
He would also know that you can't travel to the Song of Dominus, nor can you travel away from it. It's surrounded by a massive, what's called the Crystal Wall, which is just a giant chaos fractal, which, as I described, you enter it, and it throws you out somewhere else. It doesn't allow you to travel through it at all.
So he just kind of goes, "Yes. Why?"
Because the Codex has told me that it showed me the ritual that we can put the same barrier that's surrounding the Song of Dominus around Jumarad.
That spell can go around things smaller than planes?
The Song of Dominus is a plane?
It was. It might be. I don't know. Context, it's older than I am.
I know how to erect the barrier. But I need everyone's help.
Hold on a second. Hold on. This is important. He does not keep his jaw from dropping. When at the statement of, "I know how to make it," his jaw just kind of drops, and he looks from Tedrix to the book, and then to Tedrix, and then back to the book. Is that the voice in your head talking, or is that what the book actually says?
The book worked with Vane on the spells that helped erect it, and it showed me what we need to do. So I know. This isn't something that Out of character, did he just call it useless?
No, but Mulgarian did. This book is useless.
When
Last session, when he got frustrated with the investigation and the lack of progress people were making. They're like, this book is useless.
It's true.
mm,
Apparently the Codex is being rude with you.
Akvis looks up from over Tetrix's shoulder and looks at Malgarian. It says you are useless.
No.
No, it's
That's
laughing
fine.
at him and saying, "Who's useless now?"
oh, I'm fully aware of the fact that I'm useless. That's not the point. The point is, if it managed to figure out how to build that shell that was of a the short version here is the Song of Dominus is a thing preventing anyone any access ever to the plane of Dominaria. It is the center of existence.
Akvis
And so-
pets the book gently over
And
Tetrix's
so-
shoulder.
And so if Vane, and by extension this book, has a method of how to create that kind of a spell, whatever the requirements are thereof, I'm trying. I want. He's kind of looking at the whole group. I am not trying to be condescending when I state this, but I must press the gravity of this. That means this book is willing and able to provide a spell that can contain anything. To a point of functional permanency.
Is that a problem?
In the wrong hands.
Are we the wrong hands?
I mean,
I'm not saying we are the wrong people to necessarily have this spell, because I would like to hope that over the course of decades or centuries or however long any of you live, that it would be used responsibly. But this book is one thievery attempt away from being in anyone's hands, including our enemies.
Then I suggest we hold it very tightly.
Exactly. That is all I'm trying to impress, that we functionally have access to a prison that could lock up gods. And that's information that must be protected.
I'll defend it with my life.
We may have to defend it with more than one.
And in that is a sacrifice that is our lot in life with the sparks that we have been cursed with.
Exactly. This
I wish I could type better.
as I said, I'm not attempting to be patronizing. It's simply this is the problem with the vampire house and Tedrix with the invasion of your home. They are not insignificant, but in the grand scheme of things, they are parts of perpetual cycles, and it's just another drop in the bucket in the the vast sea of planes that exist. Having access to this spell, this magnitude, is far more gravity than I expected to frankly find in my lifetime, even.
Is Teedrick still the only one looking at the book?
No, Actus
No,
is peering over his
Actus-
shoulder. Or over his shoulder.
Yes, your value is proved at this point.
Actus petted, like, reached out and just kind of gently stroked the page of the book when that one appeared. The value is proven comment.
Malgarian, I understand that what happens out in this multiverse is immense.
Yes.
But before I can move on, I at least need to solve this problem.
Yes, and as I said, I'm not attempting to talk down about any of the things that any of us have to deal with. Just the the three-word Song of Dominus were not ones that I was expecting to hear today.
Give me the
I
spell.
was-
Give me.
Just wait till I reveal to him later tonight I have done thinking on his problem as well. It thinks it has a solution. What's your problem, Malgarian?
Not one to be talked about. And he's actually glaring at the book.
Oh, you mean like I was glaring at nothing?
Yes, but the difference is your nothing is yourself talking to yourself. This is a separate intelligence and a prick.
Well, my other self happens to be a prick too.
Seriously, I'm gonna learn the crap out of that spell, and everyone should be afraid. I'm just
Silence
kidding.
is golden.
Is this where we have to randomly fear being stuck in a room because a very angry little pixie decided that we've been out too late or something?
Yes.
I'm just kidding, you guys. I wouldn't use it irresponsibly. Also, I can't because I'm not 6 people.
Well, and to be fair, I don't think you would use it irresponsibly, but you would use it in very entertaining fashions.
Yes. Yes, I
Which
would.
is as much my concern. At which point he just smiles to Fizzle.
Doesn't matter. Like I said, I'm not 6 people. Yet.
All you have to do is learn the spell. But either way, the... Okay. He just, like, you can see as he closes his eyes, he's trying to get himself recentered and everything. Alright. We still need to go talk to the captain. We still need to get our reward for fixing their problem. And then we need to figure out how we're going... where we are going with to Teedrix's home plane, and as much information briefed to us as we can from you. Such as if this is a
Oh, whoops. I'm trying to edit it, and yeah.
it was not cooperating. Anyway, so as he's looking over at Teedrix, he kind of leans over next onto one of the tables, and he's not so much leaning on the table, but he's just kind of like tapping it as he's thinking through the thoughts. We're going to need to understand when you were last there, who was in charge, what the general plans of the defense was, what the general tactics of the enemy are, and if they have... You said that they are coming from a place that they used to be contained in, when we get there, we'll need to know if containing them at that same point is still viable and then just dealing with whatever is on the outside, or we'll have to determine if functionally land has to just be ceded to them and contain them where they are. But that is when we start talking about the next phase. For now, who wants to go get paid?
Get paid. Get paid.
Bulgarian's gonna hold out his hand to Fizzle so that they can hold hands.
Apparently we're holding hands. Okay then. Let's do this. Are we gonna skip too?
We can. I think that you're a little bit short and that you might just start flying. Is that still skipping?
Who cares? It's the thought that counts.
So, people, let's go get paid.
Hell yeah.
As you enter the barracks of the guard captain, the guards out front seem to recognize you.
We're here for our compensation.
Captain Rashid is hunkered over his desk, obviously working on attempting to arrange for the final benefits for the men who were put to rest. Yes, of course. Just a formality before, could you please turn me in your badges?
You only gave me this one. Here you go.
Thank you very much. All right. Is it all of you then?
Yep, all seven of us, as he motions to himself, and then across the board, and he makes sure that his hand, like, it's an open-handed gesture, not a pointing, but he's gonna pause at each person, including Vidus.
Vidus nods his head enthusiastically.
All right. He gets up from his desk, reaches into a excuse me.
And that's when the GM dies.
I've been dying all night. Anyway, fetches a ring of keys and leads you into a separate room. On the door is a large steel door, which he unlocks with the keys. All right, in one at a time, 2 items.
I did want to ask a clarifying question about that, Josh, because on your list, you had like, where did the list go? I'm still trying to find it. Okay, here we go. So like you have 16 potions of minor healing and 4 potions of major healing, and you said that each potion counts individually.
I have reconsidered on one thing. The potions of minor come in I almost want to say like 4-packs, but that's a little too.
It would put it 4 use. You would have 4 selections of minor healing and 4 selections of major healing.
Yes. No, my thing is it would be a little more to, I'm forgetting the word.
Animaniacs?
No,
Describe it.
anachromatic. The
Climactic?
Anachronism?
anachronism. Thank you, Sarah.
I got you.
Anachronistic, where like that's a little too modern. That they'd come in like little plastically
Little
sealed
shrink
4-packs.
wrapped 4-packs.
Yeah, little shrink wrap 4-packs. But I might say that yeah, they're in individual satchels of 4 potions each. So
I'm now imagining Malgarian with his head stuck in one of those little plastic
Like,
binders.
yep.
Like a turtle.
Yep.
That one's really big because he's a very large dragon.
He's a
That
big
makes it
boy.
funnier.
It's like, fuck your environment. Boom, it's the size of a house. Okay, so who's going first?
Vidus.
Vidus is most enthusiastic.
Unless anyone else wants the winged anklets.
Go for it.
Vidus will permission to have some leeway with skeletal dragon mechanics as far as the walking variety goes. Vidus will walk in on his hind legs with his wings flared for balance and very delicately pick up the ankle wings.
Okay,
It's one item or 2.
that's one of his items.
And then he will grab a pack of healing potions that he will tuck inside of his
Ooh.
ribcage.
One of the 4 satchel.
Yeah, one of the little ones that he will tuck inside his ribcage. And he will walk back out like that, looking very pleased with himself.
Okay. List updated. I will say that on all of these, there's little tags that have like incident numbers, or not incident numbers, like
Reference numbers?
confiscated from. Yeah, not reference numbers, like a confiscated from this area, from this side on this date. They don't have like a reference number system, but they do have some information on each tag. Apparently, the energetic angle wings were taken from a man named No Thumbs Rashid.
Vidus eats the name tag. Did you expect anything different? It just
No,
falls down
but
into
it's
his ribcage with
funny.
everything else.
I'm gonna grab me the hammer. And that ring sounds shiny.
Damn it! I wanted the
The-
ring.
The Ring of the Good Child.
Sure.
Damn it!
I don't know what it does. It just looks shiny, I think.
All right.
Garen's gonna grab one of the monkey's punishment caps. And I have a clarifying question of what does Ghostfire do?
Ghostfire is an energy 5 attack. It's basically like a bottle of alchemist fire or otherwise.
Hmm.
It lets
yes,
you pretend you have energy 5 for one of whatever you do.
For one, yeah, for one attack. You could throw it at someone and it counts as an energy 5.
Okay. And yeah, he'll take a collar of joking.
Dirty.
To be
Okay.
fair, he hasn't left a half-breed on this plane yet.
Yet.
I should have slipped that hoary bar winch.
Oh, he was distracted.
By meat.
Dirty.
Hey, don't knock his choices. Margarian can be gay.
I didn't knock it. I just said it was dirty.
Fair.
He's the brood lord. I don't think he can brood gaily.
No, but he is like that's kind of one of the things. Part of his mentality is kind of pack predator, assert dominance.
Brood gaily.
So, who's next?
I'll go. Damn you, Emily. I guess I'll just take one of the colors of choking and a four pack of the potions of healing. Use it on Fizzle. Give me the damn ring.
All right.
Well,
He needs to
Marcus
give
is
it to his waifu.
Ouch. Marcus is pretty simple. He's just going to go in there and grab 2 of the bags of medical supplies.
Okay. And who hasn't gone yet? I think it's Jing and Mulgari.
And Actus.
Okay, I already went.
Okay, so just Jing, I think. And Actus. Who wants to go next?
Ladies first.
Actus kind of looks around like she's not sure what he means. And then after a moment realizes that he's talking about her. And, will prowl through the doorway. And actually pick up 2 bottles of Ghost Fire.
Okay. And Jing.
I'll take a bag of medical supplies and the Helm of Goblin's Bane.
All right, record these all on your sheets.
I'm glad I'm not the only one doing that.
Hit the
Oh.
eye next.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was doing that. What the fuck?
So you click on the little exclamation point, and that opens up the block for it. When you click on the name, it posts whatever is part of that.
Thank you.
Emily, click on the eye.
Okay, so do the ankle wings go on his 2 front legs or his 2 hind legs? Can I put one on his tail and one on his neck?
You could put one on his tail and one on his neck. That would probably help him.
Can I put them on his wings?
Dang it. Some of you wouldn't think of that, so that it would be sillier. But yes, you could put them on like the bases of his wings to keep him from not flopping about humorously.
For the sake of humor for a moment, Akvis kneels down and fastens the ankle wings onto his front legs.
He can now fly around at the speed of 60 feet.
Holy shit!
However, he
Dangles uselessly beneath his front forelimbs.
yes.
So Vidus goes zooming around the room for a moment, and then lands, looking distraught. And Akvis puts them on his hind legs. It does not work. His rear end goes up into the air first, and then goes forward, flipping him over so he's actually dragging across the ground on his back. He falls. He hisses discontentedly. She puts one on his neck and one on the base of his tail. It just looks wrong. His wings flap. You know how, like, when you hold a dog over a bathtub and they start paddling their legs even though they're not near the water? He does the flight equivalent of that, with the ankle wings fixed on his neck and the base of his tail. And his wings just kind of uselessly flop around. and then he ends up spiraling in circles because he has no center of balance. And then he lands. And she finally puts them on his wings, where they belong. He's still flapping, even though he doesn't have to, but at least he's not, falling all over himself in midair anymore. Is that humorous enough for you, Josh?
Quite, yes.
Marvelous.
You have induced in me a coughing fit.
I'm sorry.
No, she's not.
Sure I am. I'm very sorry.
I think that counts mostly that you're sorry that you didn't have that on webcam, so that you could appreciate just how much you made him laugh and cough at the same time.
Dirty?
It'd be really gross.
I'm good, thanks.
I figured as much. Anyway, so. Everyone got their stuff recorded?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So, we're going to start wrapping it up here pretty soon. One last, what is the party doing? Where are you heading next?
To find an inn where I can sleep.
The day just started.
Where did the night go?
You slept last night.
Did we?
I'm nocturnal now.
Yes! He said we ate foods and slept, and then it's the next day, and we did the...
Oh.
Wait, is it actually daytime, or are we just seeing the light from his old...
Oh, it's probably about noon, because we did spend 3 hours crafting shit and blowing those guys up.
True.
Yes, you did.
That's true.
So I would
So
still like to find an
lunchtime!
inn where I can get food and find a room for the night. Because we ain't going anywhere tonight.
Okay.
Are we,
Yeah.
folks?
We need to get information from Tidri. Like, Jimmy.
What?
You need to write a military primer and dossier about your friggin' plane.
You realize all of his information is going to be outdated.
It's still a starting point.
True enough. But yes, okay, fine. We'll close out the night at a tavern, letting the party relax for at least a night.
I do have one other thing I want to do really quick. As
Okay.
far as, well, we can end on that one. That'll be better.
Okay.
Sorry, as you were.
I don't have anything else to do.
Do you have music for us?
I do have
Hard cutting.
one last thing.
Okay.
Somehow, Malgarian, during the night at the inn, you end up with the codex. As you're bedding down to sleep, it throws itself open.
At which point Malgarian's like leaning back on his bed, and he just kind of looks over. And he's like, "All right, what did you find?"
He didn't go hunting for a check? Sorry.
Breathing isn't that much of his kink.
And you have it gives information on what this item is. You have this in your...
For those of you at home who can't click on things on Roll20, the thing added into the journal, the Periapt of Portals, is a magic stone which every 6 hours can produce a portal to any plane its holder is aware of.
Damn.
This portal can transport 20 people before losing power. This item is a major artifact of the multiverse and incredibly rare, as only a handful exist. The stone itself that makes the majority component is a crystallized fragment of the once mana-rich core of the world Equilor,
yeah.
which was once the central plane of the Blind Eternities. When the slow death of that plane came, several chunks of the core were siphoned to the ether. Rather than being dissolved, they crystallize into a stone with an immense connection to the blind eternities. So Dominaria wasn't always the core of the multiverse.
Nope.
Weird.
Character development.
I have only one piece of undesirable news. I've been scrying for the periapt I retrieved with Vane. Something blocks my sight. Someone does not want me to find it. I shall keep trying. If I can find this item for you, I will. So he kind of steeples his fingers in front of his face. He's tapping both of his index fingers against his nose. That is actually very helpful. Thank you. And as a clarifying question, then, you refer to yourself as I, meaning that you are not just intelligent, but you have a sense of self-awareness. What is your name? Did I break Josh?
No, I'm just typing.
Oh, okay. I have no name. I need no name. I am just the Codex. I'm not a person. Not alive like you or your companions. I don't have that spark which makes a living being alive.
Don't we know a construct who knows how to give people sparks?
Yeah, at which point he just says, being alive does not require for you to be a person. You were held by the other planeswalker, Kethis. You know that's already the case. It's a thing for you to think on. Because, as you say on your pages even right now, you do think. But thank you for thinking of the Periapt. If I could get my hands on that, that would make things significantly easier. Are you typing in, Josh?
Yes, I'm typing.
Okay. Well, I think that does not mean I am. I am just arcane. or while I think that does not mean I am just arcane intellect, an imbued custodian for an archive and atlas which, due to their potential to be infinite in size, needs someone to adjudicate the knowledge within. You are welcome. At which point he's gonna reach over with one hand and just gently close the book. And as he's sitting there thinking, staring at the wall on the other side, from the little satchel that he's been walking around with, there's a sound that's like crystal chiming. He kind of looks over at it, reaches in, he pulls out that little silver mirror, and he waves his hand over it to activate it. Kethis' face is on the other side. And
What the hell did you all do?
that's all I wanted to do before the end. Good night, everybody.
Next
Night,
time,
folks.
next time, we get to go see Teedrix's home and how badly messed up it is.
Yay!
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Take care.
Night.